Hey, what's going on, Rockstars? Welcome into the channel. I got a lot of great feedback on the video I did a couple weeks ago. I'll link it below, which was the top 50 items that you should be looking for, 50 hot items that sell pretty fast on eBay. A ton of you asked me to do some more, so today I'm going to do a video about 25 of a certain category, and then I'll do a bunch more categories over the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to start with like tools and toys and electronics and books and different categories, and we'll do like 25, 30 items from each of those. Today, I want to start with 25 of the best toys that sell on eBay, vintage and new, modern, that you should be looking for to sell for fast profits and fast sell-through rates. So let's check it out. 25 toys. We'll go over to my computer screen. We'll screen record it, and I'll show you guys that, and hopefully you enjoy this video. Okay, so we're going to start off with these 25 best toys that sell on eBay for good money and good sell-through rates. So I'm starting with a vintage one, which is He-Man Masters of the Universe, sometimes called MOTU, M-O-T-U. Now, you can see I have it here on the use screen. All I've done is search for He-Man Masters of the Universe figure. You can delete the figure. You can search for it a couple different ways. All I've done is gone to the US only, because if you don't search for US only and you get worldwide, you'll get like Australian and Japanese prices. You'll get all kind of skewed prices, so I don't pay attention to those. And I've just done sold items, and you could do used if you want, or you could do, new, whatever it is that you want to do. 4,800 He-Man Master of the Universe figures used. If you were to search for it by MOTU instead of Masters of the Universe, you see it's like 100. It's like 100 less, 4,700 versus 48. So always kind of search for them in different ways if you have to, but you're definitely looking at searching the items that are in front of you that you see. And so these action figures, the older they are, the better. You can see the 80s, when I was growing up as a little kid, and then the early 90s. These are going to be worth, some of them like $10, $12, excuse me, but some of these, this guy right here, this Scare Glow Skeletor, look at this, 106 bucks. $50 for a Blast Attic. Here's one, even this one, $24 for the Calamar. Some of these are worth big money, and I've seen them literally in garage sale boxes. Like, take the whole box for $10, right? And you get like 50 of these things. I've got a box out in my garage with probably like 30 or 40 of them in it. I need to get them sold, definitely. I have one of these guys, this guy, 12, 13 bucks, no big deal, right? But if you're buying a whole box or you're paying 50 cents or $1 for them at a garage sale, great pickup. You can see all this stuff. These little guys are great money. People love He-Man, Masters of the Universe. It is my childhood. It is most people's childhood who are millennials. Let's move on. It's another figurine, and it's action figure, and it's wrestling figures. 87,000 of them. If we go to even the used, there's 40,000 of them. If you find, this one's 2017. This one's only 7, 8 years old. A Seth Rollins, $9. A 2010 Triple H for $13. Great, right? But if you go back to the older, look at this 1, 2, 3 kid, $21. This was X-Pac in his heyday. If you go back and you find some of the old ones, here's a 14-year-old Andre the Giant that sold for $18, almost $19. But if you find some of the old ones, like I'm talking 80s, 90s, whatever you want to, here's a set of vintage 80s, 13 of them that sold for $80, almost $82, right? Here's another one, lot of 36. They got 115. Here's a 1994 Sting in green tights. That's pretty old. That's what are we, 25, 31 years old? $13.45, right? Here's a main event Eddie Guerrero, $16. Here is the Texas Tornado. He's pretty old, $33. Some of these, here's a cool Ric Flair, $55, right? Some of these Doink the Clown, $29, $30. You're looking at $15 and $20, upwards of $40 and $50. Here's an Ultimate Warrior 91. Again, $29 all in. Here's the Road Warrior Animal of Doom, of the Legion of Doom, $100, right? Here's his other one, Hawk, $100. Hollywood Hogan from 99, 26 some years old. This one only sold for $11, so you really got to look them up, but definitely some big value in these action figures. Next, we're going to go with one that's pretty obvious. and it's a toy, but I'm not a fan of plush, but I'm going to add this one to the list because I think it's worth adding, and it's Pokemon plush. Pokemon stuffed animals regularly sell for $20 and $25. You guys can see, this one's not even that old, only 7, 8 years old, $23 all in, right? Here's another one, $21. Here's another one, $20. Here's one, 17, 18 bucks all in. Here's one that sold for $50, $60, right? And this is a pretty big plush, right? Here's a 99 one. This one's kind of vintagey. This one fetched 19 and change, 26. Anything Pokemon plush just about that's normal size or bigger, not like the tiny ones, but big size is almost always 20 or more, right? Like even this little tiny one, this is probably one of the cheaper ones, 15 bucks all in. Here's one, 35. Here's one, 15. Like 15 is really your low point, but 20 plus is really a target. So if you see Pokemon plush that's legitimate, definitely pick it up. If it's really, really tiny, like this little guy, yeah, this little guy got 9, 10 bucks. That's fine. But the rest of them, 90% of them, $17, $18, you're going to be looking at a minimum 15 to 20 and almost always over $20 for the right size. So take a look at Pokemon plush number 3. Number 4, probably the hottest toy ever made. Legos. It goes without saying, hundreds of thousands of pieces are sold every day. Make sure they are real. If you get toys that are not Lego, do not use the word Lego in your description. Don't put something like, building tool like Legos. They will sue you. They will Vero strike you. It has to be real Lego for you to use the word Lego. But of course, every Lego has a different price. Every Lego set. This is just pure research. There's way too many for me to even list, everything from Nintendo Legos to Friends Legos to Star Wars to Ninjago, you name it. The minifigs, Toys Story, Dinosaur Guy is, a $13 little minifig. So anything you find Legos, always check the prices because you never know. It could be 10 bucks. It could be 110 bucks. Now, I just bought a set of these, but Hot Wheels. Now, Hot Wheels, the older the better, obviously, as with everything, but Hot Wheels used loose cars, the new modern age ones, the ones that are like 2000s, are only going to be worth $5 or $6. You're going to want to lot them together, kind of like this guy did for a 13 truck lot for 30. Selling them for $5 and $6 individually, probably not the greatest idea. But here's one that's $3.50. I don't even know how they ship this one unless they just put it in an envelope with a stamp, right? I don't even know. Even this one, this truck is $5.50 plus $1.30, so they got $6.89 for this. He's only going to make a buck and a half after fees and shipping. My recommendation: lot them together. Look at this, another one, $120 lot. That's what you want to do. You sell them, you save yourself listing time, and you make more money. Now, if the item happens to be something special, like this 68 Mattel for $66, yeah, we're going to sell that individually, right? The other thing you can do, if we look, instead of at used ones, if we look at, new ones, same story. So see how this one is like $8 for the Chevy Trail Boss? You make $2, $2.50. But do you see how they lotted up these 3 limited edition ones? 49 plus 8, $57. It lures people in. It sells more money in one thing. You save on shipping, and you get your listings done quicker than having to list 3 listings. You only put 1 up. So here's another great example, $8.31. You could have allotted a few of those together. Now this one makes sense. This Koenigsegg Agera R gumball, this one sold for, $17. So this one makes sense to sell individually. Even this $10 Baja one looks like, probably worth selling. Call it $4.50 to ship it, and then probably about a buck and a half to $2 in fees. So you're looking at $6.50 to $7. You make $2.53 on this one. If you paid 50 cents for them, that's fine. Here's a good one. Another treasure hunt Ferrari Scudiero. This one is $16.50. So that made sense to sell individually. So if it's less than 10, consider lotting it up. If it's more than 10, like this one, I would have lotted together. This one's $25 with the VW drag bus. Wheaties, perfect, right? Like awesome. So that's your Hot Wheels. That's what was that, number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Let's go back to vintage with number 6. Oops. And we're gonna look at Transformers. Obviously, the older, the better. Number 6, Transformers. Older, the better. Vintage, any of that kind of stuff. We'll go to used. Almost 80,000 used. Their sell-through rate's great. Even one, look, this guy's missing an arm and he's still sold for $37. That's pretty crazy. Some of the modern age stuff, new stuff is worth money, but obviously if you can get the vintage stuff, look that up. This is just going to require you to do your research on these as well. A lot of these are looking them up because there are so many different ones. So number 6, Transformers. We'll go Sticking that, Star Wars action figures. I think everybody's pretty self-explanatory on these. Again, older the better. Newer stuff still worth money, but you know, if you can get stuff, you know, this is a 2016 Star Wars that sold for, you know, $14 all in. Here's a bunch of stuff that, you know, $25, $33, $20. Vintage 1978 COO 621 sold for $20, not bad. Here's a Micro Galaxy Squadron hologram TIE fighter, $300. Good grief. I don't even know what that is. I know what the TIE fighter is, but you know, the older you get, the better. These new age, again, same story as the Hot Wheels, $10, okay. You know, $13, $14, okay. If they're $8 to $10, I would lot, you know, at least lot 2 of them up. Cut your listing time in half and get $20, $25 for a lot rather than, you know, 10 for one. So that's your story on your Star Wars figures. Let's go to one I think everyone's gonna love. And this is Tamagotchi. Out when I was a kid, probably in the early 90s. This was super popular, 96, 97, mid 90s. So I would have been like 10, you know, 11 years old. And very, very hot right now. So used, there's only 1,500 of them because they're rare, but look, this one sold for 96. This guy sold a set of 4 for $265. Here's a bigger brand one, 25, look, 127. This one for some reason, oh, they're parts and repair, so they only sold for 15. If they're working perfectly fine, you can get at least $25 or $30. Look, lot of 2, 80, what, $85? Another one, $31, $32. Here's a $45 one, right? So these, if you see them, pick them up. Pay $1, pay $2, pay $3, and you are all set. Make sure they fully work, though, Tamagotchis. Now, I'm going to leave this on the list. Some people would be mad. I'm not mad about it because they do still sell Furbies. Furbies are something that people think, a lot of mass people think are not worth very much money. They're not worth a ton of money, but if they're used, which I just did, and they're still, you know, here's a Chewbacca one, $30. Here's, you know, this guy, 40 or 20, rather 33, $34, right? Tested, no sound, not even working fully, right? Here is a Gremlins, $35. Here's another one, 1998 Gen 2, $50. These are legitimate prices, $39, $38, 47, you know, $46. I don't know how real these two are, but it's possible. I'd have to look those up. You know, here's one, $32 on its own working, but not 100%. Still sold for $32, $33. You know, looks like majority of these are over 20, 25, upwards of 30 and 35. See them at a garage sale, yard sale, thrift store. Maybe they think, you know, oh, these are outdated. They're not worth any money. Here, let me slap a $2 tag on it, $3 tag on it. Score, you're good, right? Especially if they're one of, you know, these, $52 if they've got cool patterns. So I'm going to leave Furby on the list. I like it. I think it's a great product, and I think you can make some money on them. We're going to go to Care Bears. Care Bears are as old as time. They're older than me, right? Look, Care Bear plush, you can get decent plush. But actual old school Care Bears, like the vintage ones that are like, you know, here's one that's 25. Good Luck Bear, 25. But if we look at, let's go to used, 5,500 of them. If you go back, look, a lot of vintage ones, $120 for this lot of 11. Very, very nice, right? 1984 set, $199, $200. Some other Care Bear, you know, here's an 83 small one. This one's very small, $21, $22. Again, the plush, the Care Bears, I don't do a lot of plush. I don't recommend a lot of plush, but I'll never say no to Care Bears, so definitely. Next, we're going to move on to Barbie. I mean, obviously, Barbie, you know, 230,000 results. This one's self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through this one because you guys know. Look up the Barbie, look up the year, look up the condition. That's what matters. Go to used. And you guys can see everything from Barbie dolls to Barbie accessories to Barbie clothes to Barbie shoes to Barbie toys. Whatever it is, if it's Barbie, it's going to sell. It just matters what it's going to sell for and how much you can get it for. So let's keep going. This one of my favorite toys as a kid, obviously super popular in my day. Another 140,000 sold units. The older the better. 1988 Road Pig GI, you know, sold for $93. These original ones in these packages are psycho expensive. I've looked to buy a few from my golden age and my kid age days, and I was like, whoa, to buy these 10 that I want are going to cost me $1,000. I'm good, but you know, look, this little set of 1980s, $210. You know, here's another one, a little gun, a little accessory, you know, $13, right? Here's a Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is one of my favorites. Of course, $140, $250. 15 even for this little guy. So just something to keep an eye out for. G.I. Joes always sell really well. Now this one's going to surprise you a little bit, but John Deere toys. Anything John Deere toy will sell. These tractors, look at this, 20, you know, 17 and 11, 28, 28, 30, 38. You know, here's some John Deere. They're not gold mines, but they will sell, and they sell quickly. I looked at the sold versus active sell-through rate, and it's very, very good, 30, 40%. Obviously, it depends on what it is. Some of them are worth, $87. Some only worth $10, $15. Keep an eye out for them, though. Not a huge market, but there are 14,000 sold units, so keep an eye on John Deere items. Ladies, this one will probably appease to you pretty well. Polly Pockets, 10,000 sold units. If we go down here and we select used, we still have 8,100 units, almost 8,200. Polly Pockets, look at these, super small, super easy, super light, things you'll see all over the place at garage sales generally, but don't lose them. Don't lose your inventory. Put them in bins, put them in baggies, but they definitely sell, especially the full sets. I mean, you can see things like this, $38 for the Beauty and the Beast little set there. Here's a lot of vintage 2000s, over 100 pieces. They sold for $190, so pretty cool there. Just no matter what you will find at a garage sale, maybe somebody has a whole box of them or a whole set of them, and you can do well. This one I've done videos on, and we actually bought collections and did very, very well. My Little Pony, 20,000 results, so you can see that. Some of these things, man, $21, $22, $25. I bought a box of them from a garage sale, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. It had like 50 My Little Ponies, all different styles and sizes in them, and I gave the guy $20 for the whole box. It was a score, couldn't get it in my car fast enough, and we started pulling them out and listing ones for 20, for 25, for 15, for 10, for 25, and I think that entire box ended up being worth, the $20 I paid for it ended up being worth like $800, $900 after fees and shipping. I think I sold a gross of like $1,400, $1,500, so super worth it. And we did really, really well on that one. I mean, here's a lot, 50 pieces. This one only sold for 25, which is super weird. Somebody got a deal on this one, paying 50 cents a piece for these. They could have flipped this quickly. That's why you should always look to source on eBay too, because this is a lot. They paid 50 cents. They could have flipped it. So as you move along, here's one, $55, 1992. We had a few of these that we were listing for $40 and $45. So definitely My Little Pony. Always look for those. They are faked, but not that often. I mean, I see it, but I wouldn't be too worried about any of this stuff being fake. Just, pay attention. Keep an eye out where you bought it from, how you bought it, where you got it, all that kind of good stuff. Not one that I am familiar with, but I know it. I know it's worth money, and I know a lot of people sell it. I just have never sold it. American Girl doll. Obviously, there are some older ones, right? Like this 2013 one that's whatever, 12, 13 years old, sold for $45. Pretty good, but I know there are older stuff that are, pre even that are worth, let's go to the used ones here. We should be able to see them, ones that are worth hundreds of dollars. Like, oh, here you go. Here's an 18-inch one sold for $98, $99, right? So there are some of these, again, I don't know a ton about them. I know the early 2000s, 20 years old. Here's a 2008, so almost 20 years old. It's just the body. This one sold for $33. And I don't know a ton about them. I know their clothes will sell. I know their accessories will sell, sort of like Barbies. I just know that it's, the older ones, the 20, 25 year ones are, worth a good amount of money. Here's, what is this? African American black baby. Okay, so this is not an American Girl doll. I was saying, like, because these are worth big money. This American Girl Pleasant Co doll, $115, $133. I don't know how old these go. Like, maybe somebody can help me out in the video. But I just know that the early 2000s, the ones that are around 20, 25 years old, are definitely worth some good money. And I know that there's some ones possibly in the 90s that are even worth more than that. I don't know a ton about it. You guys will have to help me. But American Girl doll, always something to look out for. Cabbage Patch Kids, again, older than me, right? Like 1980s, 1970s, whatever it is. These things are huge money for the right ones. You'll have to research them. I've sold one or two in my life ever in 20 years, but here's the 85. This is when I was born. So this one sold for 39 plus 18, so 57, call it 52, 54, whatever they got for it. I mean, something simple as cake toppers, the 1970s, 82. This one sold for $23. So there's a ton of, opportunity in old Cabbage Patch Kids in the 80s and 90s, 70s and 80s. So keep an eye out for those original ones. And they're not really faked. I haven't seen any fake ones of those. I just bought some of these as well. I have some interest. I have some people making some offers on the lot. I'm probably going to sell it all. Simple, little 6-piece marble lot, $29.50. Vintage marbles here. They only sold for $8, but here's 3 more. They sold for $22, $23. got to learn what they are. Got to learn why they sell for that much. You got to learn what they are, what is so special about them that makes them worth that much money. What makes them, why were these two worth $25? Well, they're vintage, first of all, and they're also called Agate Buttermilk and Rare Multicolors. So that's kind of like a color combination you get there. Why is this one worth $12, $13? Again, they are labeled with their colors and their tricolors and their styles. So as opposed to like the normal glass ones that are like kind of dime a dozen, a lot of what I bought. So you see how it's like clear with the little color in the middle. That's like the glass ones with the color in the middle. Not worth a whole heck of a lot. You can see it here too, like $5. Some of them are with the right colors, but a lot of them just worth, here's one 27 tricolor vein cat's eye marbles, $30. And that's similar to some of the ones that I bought and sold. So that is the marble breakdown, and hopefully mine sell in the next week and I'll be profitable. This one is a building tool like Legos that not a lot of people are familiar with. I got these as a kid. I loved K'NEX as a kid. And these things are crazy expensive and crazy hard to build. I got this as a kid when I was like 12, 11, whatever, as a Christmas gift. This was like my big Christmas gift. And me and my dad spent, a week building this thing, right? This thing was nuts. So this was like 10,000 pieces that you had to build using the instruction book. It was pretty nuts, and I'd love to build one now today as an adult. There was a roller coaster, there was a Ferris wheel. Let me see if they have this roller coaster. But this was similar to a Lego style toy, right? And there it is. There's like one of the roller coasters. There was also, if I sort this by the highest price, I'll find it. Roller coaster rocket. There it is. There's the one I actually had with the loop-de-loop with the roller coaster. 2 vintage sets sold for $290. That's crazy. There it is, $199 plus $29. So K'NEX, keep an eye out for them. They're building tools and they sell. So this one is going to be a little more rare, a little more collector value, but Lionel trains. I'm going to send this back to Ended Recently. Lionel trains, I think everybody knows the collectible trains. They can range anywhere from $20, $30, $40 up to hundreds and thousands of dollars for pieces of these. That goes for not just Lionel, any toy trains and good solid metal ones, but Lionel is the name brand. They are the industry standard. If you come across them, they are definitely something to keep an eye out for. The older, the better. The better the condition means everything on Lionel trains. So let me show you this. Monopoly board game pieces. So the next one we're moving on to is board game pieces. Not just Monopoly. It could be Warhammer. It could be, any board game that has pieces that need to be replaced. But of course, Monopoly, a very popular one. You're not going to score. Here's original 10. This one sold for $23, right? Some people are parting out board games. I don't recommend that, but you certainly could. Here's a set, $10 for a set of property cards, right? Something stupid like that. Here's Lord of the Rings edition Monopoly. This sold for $23. They had the dice, the ring, and the characters. So depending on what you have, the original set from 38 to 50, $25. Here's one, a 1960s Scottish Terrier, $19, right? So a lot of these pieces from Monopoly, but if you just go and look up board game pieces, we jump to 11,000 results. Look, here's again Monopoly. Let's go. Okay, here's a cranium board, $13 they got for this. $13.39 for just the timer, the dice, and 4 little pieces, right? As you scroll down, you'll start seeing some more. Look, night check pieces, $15. So many. Here's a set of Stratego. This only sold for $7.50, but still something that sells. Tons and tons of things sell that are board game pieces. Clue, Monopoly, Stratego, you name it. All right, let's move on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 more left. So that was 21. Let's go to 22, which is Monsters in My Pocket, one of my favorite toys as kids as well. These little guys, if you've never seen them, let me open one up so you can see them. They're like little monsters, like little Draculas and zombies and stuff. They were small enough to fit in your pocket, exactly what they say as a kid, and kids would carry these things around. There was a video game after it, which is super, super rare if you can come across it. These little guys are expensive. They fit in your pocket. You could play with them. They were like action figures, but they were super cool, and they were colored and all that stuff. There's also one called Musclemen, Muscle, with the dots. They are worth some money as well. The individual ones, look at these. Monster Wrestlers in my pocket, 40 bucks, 40 bucks. Some of these things are super crazy expensive. The video game on its own is definitely worth $60 to $70. The full setup is worth a couple hundred, but there you go. I mean, this is one of the coolest toys. You know, Mad Scientist, still a $10 toy right there, right? So keep an eye out for those little guys as well. This one, of course, popular all through the last 20 years. Of the movies, but Marvel action figures, anything from the new stuff all the way back to the old vintage. And when I say vintage, like the old school, you know, Spider-Man back in the day when Spider-Man came out, when I was a kid. Before that, everything up to now, you know, in the 2000s, it can be worth $5, can be worth 55 bucks. Here's a blue, you know, Marvel Blue Venom jaw chomping action figure from 1994, you know, $21, right? So if you look up, let's do it real quick for you guys, vintage Marvel action figures. Here is sets of 80, 90, 2000s, $84. Here's an 84 Spider-Man, you know, year before I was born, sold for $29. Always keep stuff, you know, in the back of your head when you're looking for these Marvel toys. All right, we got two more, and I'm going to put Funko Pop as number 24. A lot of people think they're dead. A lot of them are, and they're not worth selling. Like, for example, this one's $14. This is a Overwatch Junkrat. You know, $14. This thing probably costs $7, $8 to ship, and you're going to pay $2 in fees. You're going to be lucky to get $2 or $3 out of this thing. But there are some that are worth great money. And so here's a great one, The Walking Dead Morgan. You guys can see $30. Now, if this guy costs $6 or $7 to ship and you pay $4 in fees, $11, well, you're left with $19. So that could be worth it. You picked it up for $5, right? You can make some profit. Just make sure you look these up and be very careful. Just know that the shipping costs between $6 and $8 on these. If you put them in a little 4x6x6 box and it goes ground advantage for like, you know, 10 to 12 ounces, you're looking at like $6, $7 in shipping, and you're looking at a couple bucks in fees. So your break even on these before your cost of goods is going to be at least $8 to $10. And even if you paid a couple bucks for it, you got to get something over, you know, 12 just to break even. So you don't want to sell it for 12 or 13. You don't want to sell it for 15 because that's $2, right? If you paid $7 to ship it and, you know, $2.50, $3 in fees, you're at 10, 11 break even. And then if you paid, you know, $2 to buy it, $13, $14, this doesn't make sense, right? This doesn't make sense at all. You got to get, you know, the ones that are worth 20 plus are what you're looking for. All right, last item, and it's pretty easy. It's trading cards. Magic the Gathering. And so if you don't know anything about Magic the Gathering, it is a competitive, very complicated, but very awesome trading card game. This was, you know, cards are collectible, but this was more of a game. Like Pokemon, I feel like is collectible. Magic the Gathering over the 25, 30 years is absolutely a game. It's tournaments, it's, you know, money, it's strategy. It's a very, very difficult game to learn. I actually learned this game so much when I was a teenager that I played on what's called the Pro Tour, which was professional players playing for professional money. And I won some money. I won quite a bit of money. And at the time when I was a teenager, a couple $1,000 here and there was quite a bit of money. You know, not today, but that's how serious I was into it. I got out of it when I graduated high school and, you know, moved on and became an adult and things, but still love it. Still love everything about Magic. I wish I had played it more and won more money, but it is a very expensive hobby, and it is very expensive to play in tournaments and get cards and have decks together and things of that nature. Some of the cards can be worth hundreds of dollars. You know, this one, $800. Not uncommon. There's some, you know, couple $1,000 cards. I'll show you. I'll probably pull it up right here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is a 93 Black Lotus. This is one of the most popular cards ever made in Magic the Gathering when it first came out in 93, which of course is, you know, makes Magic over 30 years old. This is a $5,000 card. Actually cheaper than I would think. It probably isn't that. Actually, it is. It's a PSA 9 mint. I thought it was worth more money, but yeah, I mean, a $5,000 card. I thought it was closer to like 8 to 10, but you guys can see some of these cards are absolutely, you know, crazy priced. Here's a Wrath of God. This was a very big card back in 93, $1,300. So Magic the Gathering cards, but also, and I'll lump them together, Pokemon cards, which I have 40,000 of right now. We're in the middle of selling them, but you guys can see they could sell anywhere from a couple bucks on up to thousands of dollars as well. Make sure you know what you're buying. Make sure you know the set. Make sure you know the condition. Make sure you know everything you can know about it, because you can see $1.15, even with the 69-cent shipping and the 30-cent fees, you know, you're at 90 cents break even, $1 break even. So this is wiped out. You're making a buck on these cards. That's tough. It can be done, but you want to try to grab cards that are like $9.99. cards that are $8.99, $9.99, $10, right? Those are the ones you want. As many of those as you can, or lotting them together for 27, where they might only be $5 or $6 cards, but you can put them together for 25 bucks, 20 bucks, right? Lots, $40. So this is a great way to make money because Pokemon is one of the hottest items on the market, and almost 300,000 just for the word Pokemon cards sold, and that doesn't include all the other ones. So there you go. That is your 25 toys, games, items that are hot sellers. They have huge sell-through rates, or really good sell-through rates, and can have potential high dollar value, at least mid-range to high. Thanks for watching. I know these videos are long. I'll try to keep them as short as possible. So as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. And if you want more hot items, bolos listed on Google Sheets, spreadsheets, in guides, and everywhere else, it is 80% off the entire collection of everything I've ever put together, with thousands of these bolos and hot items and their sell-through rates on a sheet, not to mention the private videos and everything else you get included with the bundle. 80% off. The code is RSF50. I'll put it down in the description box with the link. You can pick that up today or any day for 80% off. Don't miss it. It has tons of other items that are not included in any of my videos. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate that so much. All right, so that was 25 of the best toys and toy categories. Not only are you going to make good profits on these solid dollar amounts, they're also going to be good sell-through rates. So make sure you keep an eye out for a lot of these items. Also, don't forget, guys, down in the description box for 80% off, as long as I decide to keep it up, is a bundle of videos. In addition to those training videos and guides and sheets and PDFs and Google Sheets, is a list of hot sell-through rate items, their actual sell-through rates, the number of active, the number of sold, and bolos, hundreds and hundreds of other bolo items beyond these videos I put out on YouTube that you should be looking for. It is 80% off, so use that link down below. You don't need a coupon code. Just click it, purchase it, and it will automatically be emailed to you 24 hours a day. In addition to all those sell-through rates and bolos, you get the training guides, you get the sheets, you get the PDFs, you get everything, the videos and the private Facebook group and priority support to my email box. So don't forget to grab that before you head out. And thank you so much for watching this video. I have more of these 25 best items from every eBay category over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and come back and watch all of those over the rest of February. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time.